Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we will discuss the chapter mensuration of class 8. Okay. The word mensuration means measurement. Okay. So measurement of what? Measurement of the perimeter of different figures and the area of different figures. Okay. So let us take our first figure, which is the triangle. So the perimeter of a triangle will be what? Definition of perimeter. Perimeter means sum of the length of the sides of the figure. Okay, sum of the length of the sides of the figure. So in case of a triangle, perimeter of the triangle will be sum of the length of the sides, that is AB plus BC plus CA, right? So perimeter is defined in terms of units. Okay, so if the sides are given, like for example, if this is 5 centimeter, this is 6 centimeter, and this is 7 centimeter, then the perimeter of the triangle will be 5 centimeter plus 6 centimeter plus 7 centimeter, which is equals to 18 centimeter, right? Similarly, the area means the total region enclosed by its sides. That means if this is the triangle, then the total area which is enclosed by these three sides will be the total region enclosed by these three sides will be its area. Okay, so area of a triangle, the formula is half into base into height, square units. Okay, if this in this triangle, if this is the base, if we consider this as the base, then this will be the height, and height will means the perpendicular height. Okay, so it will become half into base here is BC and the height here is AD. So half into BC into AD square units. Got it? Okay. Now let's come to the figure rectangle. In a rectangle, we have four sides. This is the length, breadth, again this is the length, and this is the breadth. So this side is equal to this side, and this side is equal to this side, right? So the perimeter will be what? Sum of length of sides. That means length plus breadth plus length plus breadth. So this length is coming twice and this breadth is coming twice, right? So it will be 2 into length plus breadth units. Similarly, area will be what? Area of a rectangle will be length into breadth square units. These are the formula that you need to know. Okay, next, in case of square will be what? Perimeter of the square will be 4 into sides, because there are 4 sides and the length of each side is same, so it will be 4 into side units. And the area of the square will be what? Side into side square units. Okay, next let's come to this parallelogram. Okay, in case of a parallelogram, we have two parallel sides. The opposite sides are parallel and equal. That means this AB is parallel to DC and AB equals to DC, and this AD is parallel to BC and AD is equal to BC, right? And this is the height. Okay, this is the height. So perimeter of a parallelogram will be what? Length of the sides, sum of length of the sides. So AB plus BC plus CD plus AD, which is equals to AB. Since AB and DC are equal, so 2 into, if we consider this as A, if we consider the side AB as A, oh, here I have considered it as we have taken side DC as B, therefore AB becomes B, and AD as A, so BC also becomes A. So the perimeter of the parallelogram becomes 2 into A plus 2 into B, which is equals to 2 into A plus B units. And area of the parallelogram becomes base into height. Okay, so base into height square units. Let's come to the perimeter or circumference of a circle and area of a circle. The circumference of the perimeter of the circle is given as 2 pi r. So this entire thing is 2 pi r. Okay, where r is the radius of the circle. So 2 pi r units, and the area of the circle is given as pi r square units. Okay, let's come to semicircle. Okay, so in case of the perimeter of semicircle, what we have here is that when you are calculating the perimeter or circumference of a circle, so the circumference of this entire arc, okay, is 2 pi r. If the circumference of this entire arc is 2 pi r, then the circumference of this half arc will be what? Pi r, right? And other than that, we have this entire line as well. Now from this center to this circumference point in the circumference, this value is what? It is the radius, that is r. So from this center to this side, it will be also be r, right? So it becomes r plus r, that is equals to 2r. So the perimeter of the semicircle is this pi r plus this 2r. So it becomes pi r plus 2r units. Okay, again, the area, in case of the area of semicircle, if the area of the circle is pi r square, then the area of semicircle will be what? Pi r square by 2 square units, right? Okay, so let's come to the exercise, okay, of M L Aggarwal. Exercise 19.1, question number 1. So what we are given is that the length and breadth of a rectangular field are in the ratio 9:5. Since the length and breadth are given in the ratio 9:5, so we assume the length and breadth of the rectangular field to be 9x meter and 5x meter respectively, and the area of the rectangular field is given as 14,580 meters square, right? Therefore, according to the problem, area is what? Area is 14,580 meters square, and we know that the formula for the area of the rectangle is what? Length into breadth. Therefore, length into breadth is equals to 14,580, which implies xx square, x multiplied by x is x square, and this 9 multiplied by 5, I am taking it to the other side, so it comes to the denominator, right? So it becomes xx square is equals to 14,580 divided by 9 into 5. So after simplifying this, we get xx square equals to 324, which implies x equals to root over 324. Okay, therefore x equals to plus minus 18. Now, since we are talking about the dimensions, that is the length and breadth of a rectangular field, so length cannot be negative, right? Therefore x is not equals to minus 18, therefore x equals to plus 18. Therefore length equals to what? 9x meter, which is equals to 18 into 9 meter, which is equals to 162 meter, and breadth is what? 5x meter, which is equals to 18 into 5 meter, which is equals to 90 meter, right? Similarly, okay, now let's come to question number 4. Okay, we are given here this diagram, right? In this diagram, this rectangle, okay, this is a square, which is a square plot, okay, and this house is of a rectangular shape, okay, and the dimensions of the square plot is given as the side is given as 24 meter, and in case of this house, the length is given as 18 meter and the breadth is given as 12 meter, and the rest of the shaded portion is the garden, okay. So while calculating the area of the garden, how to calculate the area of the garden? If we can find out the area of the square plot and deduct the area of the house from this, then we'll get what? We'll get the area of the garden, right? So area of the garden is equal to area of the square plot minus area of this house, right? Which is equals to, what is the area of the square plot? Since it is a square, so the side is given as 24 meter, so area will be 24 square minus, what will be the area of this house, rectangular house? It will be what? Length into breadth. So that is what I have written, 12 into 18. Okay, 12 here is the breadth and 18 is the length, right? So it becomes, okay, it will be meter square since the unit is meter. So this is equals to 24 square is 576 minus 12 into 18 is 216 meter square, which is equals to 360 meter square. Okay, now we are given that the cost of developing 1 meter square of garden is what? Rupees 200. So what will be the cost of developing 360 meter square of garden? Okay, that will be what? Rupees 200 into 360, that is rupees 72,000, and this will be our answer. Got it? Okay, now let's come to question number 6. It is said that an ant is moving around a few food pieces of different shapes scattered on the floor, right? For which food piece would the ant have to take a longer round? Okay, for that, suppose if the ant is here, right, and it is moving around like this and it is coming like this, so in order to find the distance that the ant has traveled, what we need to do is we need to find out the perimeter of this figure. Similarly, we need to find out the perimeter of this figure as well, and the perimeter of this figure as well, right? So the perimeter for which the figure for which the perimeter will be the highest will be our answer, right? Because in that figure the ant has to take the longer route. Okay, so let us find out the perimeter of figure A. Okay, the perimeter will be what? Since this is a semicircle, so the area, the perimeter of the semicircle is what? Pi r plus 2r. That is what I have written, pi r plus 2r. Here r is, here the diameter is given as 2.8 centimeter. Okay, diameter means what? 2 into radius. So 2 into radius is what? 2.8 centimeter. Therefore radius will be what? 2.8 divided by 2, which is equals to 1.4 centimeter. So our r is 1.4 centimeter. Therefore pi r equals to, pi means 22 by 7 into r is 1.4 plus 2 into r is 2 into 1.4, which is equals to, this 7 and 1.4 gets cut and this becomes 0.2. So 22 into 0.2 is 4.4 plus 2 into 1.4 is 2.8, which is equals to 7.2, right? Okay, let's come to figure B. Look, this is given as 1.5 centimeter. So if this is 1.5 centimeter, then this will also be 1.5 centimeter. Again, this is given as 2.8 centimeter. So if this is 2.8 centimeter, then this will also be 2.8 centimeter. Okay, now this is in the shape of a semicircle, right? So in order to find out the perimeter of this figure, we need to add this length, then this, and then we need to find out the perimeter of this arc. Okay, so perimeter equals to this 2.8 centimeter plus 1.5 centimeter plus 1.5 centimeter plus this perimeter of this arc, semicircular arc, will be what? Pi r, because there is no because this portion is not connected, right? Since this is not connected, so we don't have to include the 2r portion. Okay, so it will be what? 2.8 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus pi r, which is equals to 2.8 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 becomes 5.8 plus this pi r is what? 22 by 7 into 1.4. So it becomes 5.8 plus 4.4, which is equals to 10.2 centimeter. Understood? Okay, now let's come to part C. Okay, so first understand this, these are not any regular figures, okay? These are figures made by some regular shapes. Just like this is a rectangle, this looks like a rectangle, and if we join this, then this will become a complete rectangle, right? If we join this, okay, this looks like a rectangle, so then what we would have done is we would have added these three sides. In order to find out the perimeter, we would have added these three sides, and then we would have found out the perimeter of this semicircular arc. We could have done that, right? But since this line is not given, so it becomes a different figure, an irregular figure. Similarly, look here in this figure, it is an irregular figure where this is 2 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, and this is a semicircular arc. So in order to find out the perimeter of this figure, what we can do, we can add this and this, and then we can add the find out the perimeter of this semicircular arc and add this and add that to this 2 and 2, right? So the perimeter becomes pi r plus 2 plus 2, okay? So it is equals to pi into 22 by 7 into r is what? This is 2.8, the diameter, so the radius will be 1.4 plus this 2 plus 2 becomes 4, which is equals to 4.4 plus 4, which is equals to 8.4. So in figure A we get the perimeter as 7.2, in figure B we get the perimeter as 10.2 centimeter, and in figure C we get the perimeter as 8.4 centimeter. So the longest round will be what in case of figure B, so this will be our answer. Got it? Okay, let's come to question number 7. So it is given that in the adjoining figure, that is in this figure, okay, the area enclosed between the concentric circles is 770 centimeter square, okay? So the area given here is that of this concentric circle is given as 770 centimeter square, okay? So how do we get the area of this concentric circle? See, if we take the area of this entire circle, the outside circle, okay, let me show it with this entire circle, the bigger circle, then it covers this much distance, and if we take the area of the smaller circle, then it will be only this much portion, right? Understood? Okay, so if we deduct the area of the outer circle, okay, the area of the inner circle from the area of the outer circle, then we will get what? Only this portion. Got it? So in order to find out the area enclosed between two concentric circles, the formula is what? Pi capital R square, which is the area of the, it will be what? Pi capital R square minus pi small r square, okay? So area of the bigger circle is pi capital R square minus area of the smaller circle is what? Pi small r square. So the difference between the two gives us the area of the concentric circle, okay? Area enclosed between the concentric circle. Now the area of the bigger circle is what? The radius of the bigger circle is given as 21 centimeter. Understood? Just a second, let me just clear this for you. Yeah. Okay. So the radius of the bigger outer circle or the bigger circle is given as 21 centimeter, but we don't know the radius of the inner circle or the smaller circle, right? So we are assuming the radius, let the radius of the inner circle be r centimeter, and the radius of the outer circle equals to 21 centimeter. Therefore ATP, area of the enclosed concentric circle, area enclosed between the concentric circle is equals to 770, which is equals to pi capital R square minus small r square, which implies 22 by 7 into capital R square is what, 21 square minus small r square, I have kept it as it is, that is small r square, which is equals to 770, which implies I have taken this 22 by 7 to this side, so it becomes 7 by 22, right? So this 21 square is 441 minus r square is equals to 770 into 7 by 22. Simplifying this, we get 245, which implies r square. I am taking this minus r square to this side and this 245 to this side. So it becomes 441 minus 245 equals to r square, which implies r square equals to 441 minus 245, which implies r square equals to 196. Therefore r equals to 14. Okay, understood? Okay, let's come to question number 8. Okay, it is said that a copper wire, when bent in the form of a square, encloses an area of 121 centimeter square. Now, if the same wire is bent in the form of a circle, find the area of the circle. Okay, so first thing that we need to understand here is that when this type of statement is given, that a certain wire is bent in the form of, suppose, this square, and again that same figure, that same wire is bent in the form of the circle. So the first thing that we need to know here is that if we are using the same wire to form a square, then the perimeter of this square and the perimeter or the circumference of this circle will be the same, because the same wire is used. Okay, that means the same length of the wire is used to form this square. Again, the same length of the wire is used to form this circle. Got it? So when any wire is bent in the form of two shapes, okay, two figures, then their perimeter will be same. Okay, the perimeter of those two figures will be the same. Understood? Okay, here the area of the square is given as 121 centimeter square. Therefore the side of the square will be what, 11 centimeter. Therefore perimeter of the square will be what, 44 centimeter. Now this, the length of this means that the length of this wire, which is this copper wire, will be what, 44 centimeter. Now this copper wire is bent to form this this circle, right? So the circumference of this circle will be equal to the length of this copper wire, which is equals to 44 centimeter. Okay, therefore thus we can say that the perimeter of the square will be equal to the perimeter of the circumference of the circle. Okay, so let the radius of the circle be r centimeter. Therefore ATP 2 pi r equals to what, 44. 2 pi r means the perimeter of the circumference of the circle, which implies 2 into 22 by 7 into r equals to 44, which implies r equals to 44 into 7 divided by 2 into 22. Okay, so this becomes 7. Therefore the area of the circle will be equals to pi r square units, which is equals to pi means 22 by 7 into r square means 7 into 7 centimeter square. This 7 gets cancelled out, so it becomes 22 into 7 means 154 centimeter square. Okay, understood? Okay, let's come to question number 10. Here a rectangular garden 80 meter by 40 meter is divided into 4 equal parts by 2 cross paths 2.5 meter wide. Okay, so find the area of the cross paths and the area of the unshaded portion. So this entire portion is what? Entire length is 80 meter, it is given, and this entire length is 40 meter, and this gap is what? 2.5 meter. So first, and this gap is uniform. Okay, since this is 2.5 meter, so this will also be 2.5 meter, this gap is will also be 2.5 meter, and this will also be 2.5 meter. Understood? So in order to find out the area of the cross paths, what we can do here is that if we consider this rectangle, okay, so if we find out the area of this rectangle, then we get the area of this portion of the path. Okay, again, if we find out the area of this path, then we will get what? We will get this, the area of this cross path. Okay, now look, this area is common in both of them, right? So we need to we need to subtract the area of this square portion, because it comes in this rectangular path as well as in this rectangular path. Understood? Okay, just a second, let me erase this first. Okay, so the area of the cross paths will be what? The area of rectangle ABCD. Okay, it will be, yeah, plus the area of rectangle EFGH minus area of square IJKL. Understood? So area of the rectangle ABCD will be what? This length is what? 2.5 meter, and this breadth will be what? It will be nothing but this 40 meter, right? So 2.5 into 40 plus the area of the rectangle EFGH will be what? This is 2.5 meter, and this entire length is what? 80 meter. So it will be 2.5 meter into 80 meter, minus area of the square will be what? 2.5 meter. This is 2.5, this is 2.5, this is 2.5, this is 2.5, right? So it will be what? 2.5 into 2.5 meter square, which is equals to, this is 100 plus this is 200 minus this is 6.25, which is equals to 300 minus 6.25, which is equals to 293.75 meter square. So this will be the area of the cross path. Now if we want to find out the area of the unshaded portion, what we will do here is that if we can find out the area of this entire rectangle, and from there if we subtract the area of the cross paths, then we will get the area of the unshaded portion, right? So that is what I have done. Area of unshaded portion equals to area of the rectangular garden minus area of shaded portion, which is equals to area of rectangular garden will be what? Length into breadth, that is 80 into 40, area 40 into 80 meters square, minus area of the shaded portion we have already got as 293.75 meters square. So it will be 293.75 meters square, which is equals to 29, just a second, this will be 2906.25 meters square. Understood? So this will be our answer. Okay.